Hi everyone, this is Chris from A Bar Above, and today I'm really excited about our post because it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making sweet vermouth, so stay tuned. So for all of you that have been watching for a while, you'll recall back in 2013 we did a kind of a roundup of what's hot in mixology and some of the current trends that are out there. Now, one of the things we outlined was that vermouth was making a lot of noise in the industry and making a lot of traction in cocktail bars, and we're definitely seeing that being the case here in 2014. There's a ton of new vermouths out on the market. So what we're going to do today is we're going to try our hand at making a vermouth and basically just kind of see how it turns out. We're going to incorporate a couple of things that we've done in the past, including the flavor library and a couple different techniques as far as syrup production goes, but the overall process is extremely easy. So let's get into it, shall we? So for all of you that are not familiar with vermouth, vermouth and bitters share a lot of common ingredients together. So you typically have alcohol. In vermouth, it's wine with a little bit of spirit in there to fortify it. You have botanicals, and you also have a bittering component to it as well. Just like with bitters, you have high alcohol, you have botanicals, and you have a bittering agent typically. Now both bitters and vermouth can have a little bit of sugar in there to just kind of round them out. So before this video, I had an idea of creating a cheater vermouth. Since bitters and vermouth share a lot of similar ingredients, you have your botanicals and you have your bittering agents, wouldn't it be kind of cool if just by some off chance that just adding wine, simple syrup, and bitters together would create a decent vermouth? So it didn't. It was actually really bad, and it's exactly as it tasted exactly as it sounds. It's kind of really cheap red wine, sweet, bitter. It was bad. It was really, really bad. I wouldn't recommend going down that path. But sometimes you just have to make a couple of mistakes before you succeed. So how I went about it after failing so horribly beforehand was to create a wine syrup with turbinado sugar on a stovetop to oxidize the wine and infuse some of the botanical flavors that I wanted in there as well. So now that I've made the sweetening portion of the sweet vermouth, I allow the syrup to cool and I begin to blend everything together to kind of achieve the sweetness level that I want. So I add the sweetening agent, a little bit of brandy as well as a fortification process. And the reason I chose brandy is actually a recommendation from somebody I asked online, and the minute he said it, it just made a ton of sense. Wine and brandy are both grape based, so it just makes a ton of sense to add that as your fortification. So after that was done, I added my red wine to achieve kind of that balance that I was looking for in the weight of the sweet vermouth. So now that I have the sweet and I have the fortification and I have the wine, now it's time to start to add depth of flavor. So in order to add depth of flavor, what I did was go back to our flavor library and start to pull ingredients, tinctures out of that library to utilize in our sweet vermouth. So the last thing I did to make my vermouth balance was to add my bittering component. So in our library, we actually have a cinchona and a wormwood that I use to balance out my sweet vermouth. Now, if you're making your own extracts from bittering components, the thing to remember is that many of these bittering components are medicinal. So you don't want to be tasting the stuff at full strength. That's why you add it at the very end. Now, if you don't feel like extracting your own bittering agents, there are other options out there for you. Mountain Rose Herbs is a great website, and they actually sell single ingredient bittering tinctures that you can add drop by drop and essentially accomplish the same exact thing. But you can be rest assured that they know what they're doing and providing you with a safe product. So now that I've made the sweet vermouth, now's the time to take it out for a test drive. So once again, my favorite part of the video, and let's see if it actually stands up and has a similar effect and similar weight on the palate as sweet vermouth. So one of the things I will say about this cocktail is that the color is much different. You have much more of a kind of a purple hue to it, and it's not surprising since a significant portion of it is fresh red wine. But as far as the taste goes, it tastes like a Manhattan. I'm actually kind of surprised. It has a lot more kind of rough edges to it, and it's definitely not a refined recipe, but the weight on the palate, the flavor, and the way it tastes, you know it's a Manhattan, so it's kind of fun. So what I'll do is actually create the recipe and put it on our website at abarabove.com and give you detailed instructions on how we went about this process. Now for me, this is really exciting because it opens a whole new world for drink creation and really targeting the flavors in cocktails. And this is something that all of us can be doing, whether we're bartenders, drink creators, or enthusiasts at home. And it just opens a whole new spectrum of cocktails for everyone. So I'm really excited about this. And you better believe I'm going to be making some more sweet vermouth, probably for Christmas for everyone. But until then, I hope you guys have a great shift, and cheers. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Google+, or visit us at abarabove.com.